leaving us as two things you didn't have time for us to start. Oh no, and every beginning seems to come to an end. One time I try, it falls apart again. One time is all I get now. Cause I know you're not what I wish for now. You're something out of the fantasy, escape tonight. I don't want to fall in love, but I'll be fine. Maybe it was one thing, maybe it was two things. Maybe it's in the way that you look at me. 'Cause I spent my whole weekend figuring that you're missing, and I don't wanna be there to hurt no more. And I count all the times that your eyes follow mine, and you follow blind until your heart still mine. And I'll define, but in my private side, if you put your love on the line, so will I. I'm scared of trying, I'm scared it might end. I hate the feeling when you're out of love. In love, in love, in love. When you're out of love. In love, in love, in love. I just hope you, I just hope you, I just hope you feel what I feel. I count all the times that your eyes follow mine, your eyes follow mine until your heart still mine. I'll define, put in my private side. Put your love on the line, so will I. Maybe it was one thing, maybe it was two things. Maybe it's in the way that you look at me. 'Cause I spent my whole weekend figuring that you're missing, and I don't wanna be there to hurt no more. Skinny Asian counters, face goes up the mirror. That life is like a magazine, and I live in the fiction. And you compare so much to them.
Hello and welcome back to the Give and Go. I'm your coach Reynoso here with my boy.
Soltero, what's up, guys?
Hey, chat, English or Spanish? Y'all let me know in the chat because we got a final between England and Spain now that England has defeated the Netherlands 2-1 over 90 minutes. England is going through to the next round. It might potentially be coming home, and England gets a massive, massive result here against the Dutch.
A massive win. Ollie Watkins coming on for Harry Kane, which I thought was a crazy decision in the moment, but, you know, Kane looked tired, so I was cool with it ultimately. He pulls out the sniper and drills it in the 90th minute. What a game-winning moment for Ollie Watkins, who just had the season of his career, and to now score this goal here in the semifinals of the Euros. What a massive moment for Watkins and for the entire country of England.
I can't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it. Ollie Watkins and Cole Palmer coming in for Harry Kane and Phil Foden. A very bold decision from Gareth Southgate that ends up paying out, with England getting this game-winning goal in the 89th, 90th minute and shutting down this Dutch side. What's the biggest narrative here, though, man? What is it? Because this game had a lot of different moments with Xavi Simons scoring a banger, beauty of a goal to start this match up, and then Harry Kane tying the game afterwards with a controversial penalty that we're already seeing in the chat. A lot of people believe wasn't a pen. What was your take on that penalty call?
Yeah, we have to talk about this because when the penalty happened, we were talking about it in our live moment. Basically, sorry, hold on. Is something going on in the background? Sorry, guys. I can't focus. Sorry, y'all. Sorry.
Go ahead.
All right. We're back. We're live. Back to the penalty situation.
Yes, sir.
For me, the biggest problem is that obviously the shot is completely gotten off, right? So Kane gets the shot off, but then the player afterwards makes contact with his foot. It's a penalty. I don't think there's any other way to put it. This is a penalty.
This one's interesting. Yeah, we were talking about it too. We don't often see these calls get made in the penalty box, because Kane gets the shot off, but there is a question of, does Dumfries impact the shot that he's trying to take? Because Dumfries went with studs up and he didn't touch the ball. Mm-hmm. So if you just look at it as a singular play, maybe outside the box, that's a foul. But it gets interesting because it's in the penalty box. And I think that's what makes this a really interesting call to make, because usually referees don't call these type of fouls. So I think that's what the surprises from people in the chat and just people overall is that they actually went back, they looked at it, they reviewed it, and ultimately it was called as a pen. And Harry Kane scored a perfect penalty, bro. A perfect penalty into that bottom left corner to get it past the goalkeeper. England ties it, and then what follows afterwards is probably the best we've seen England play at this tournament for that first half.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Xavi Simons with that banger poked the bear, because England woke up after that and played their best football of the entire tournament. They dominated the rest of that first half, and the Dutch could not touch the ball for basically 30 straight minutes. It was a brilliant performance from England in the first half. The Dutch got a little bit more deadly, though, in that second half, creating a couple more chances, having more of the ball. But it definitely became a stalemate more than anything else, I thought, in the second half, as it was just kind of more of a 50-50 duel in the midfield.
Yeah, I agree. And folks, real quickly, give us a like on the stream. Like on the stream as we continue talking about this game. We're going to be previewing the final between England and Spain with you guys. I want to get your predictions, your preview, your takes on that match, because we're going to clip it, upload it on our YouTube channel, and want you guys to be a part of that. So thumbs up on the stream right now. And then the second goal arrives for England. It was pretty much back and forth for the next 30 minutes in that second half. Netherlands had their opportunities and England as well, but it was a little bit tougher to generate those opportunities, honestly, and the game slowed down much more in comparison to that first half. But the Dutch end up falling short because England's savior, bro, Ollie Watkins, who's had a great season for Aston Villa, gets the chance to, shine here, getting the call up ultimately over Ivan Toney, who was great last game, scoring an amazing penalty.
Yeah.
He ends up getting picked to come in as a sub, as well as Cole Palmer, and it's both of the subs making an impact immediately, with Cole Palmer feeding him the assist and Ollie Watkins on a tight angle, bro. A tight angle where before he shot it, I was like, that's probably going to get saved and go out to a corner kick or just go bounce back into the box. Ends up in the back of the net. What a shot, man. What a shot.
Yeah, it's a brilliant shot, but I think more so what Ollie Watkins represents for England is kind of a bigger picture here, in the sense that England's attack has gotten him here to this final. And because I see a lot of people kind of just disgusted that England have made it this far. But I think this is more of a reality awakening for a lot of people, that I think a lot of people need to understand. England are here for a reason. It's because they have some of the best footballers on the planet. I don't think it really matters if their chemistry's not working. If they show up and compete, then they probably have a better chance of beating their opponent. That's crazy.
No, I think it goes for like the top three nations in Europe. France was very similar to this
France is
tournament,
very
bro.
similar.
They led Spain at 1.1-0, and they were close to getting to the final. You could say Spain overturned that game. Shout out to them. But still, France made it this far playing woeful offensive football. Terrible. I never want to see that again, bro. It was awful. But they made it this far to the semifinal. You could say the same for Spain. I would say as well that they may not have to play their best type of football, but it's still good enough to get results. England embodies that, though. But they embodied it fully because all the close calls they had, Jude Bellingham having to score a bicycle game-tying goal, and the moments where there was so much drama, so much chaos, they still end up getting the result at the end of the day. And now my biggest question is, what's the take on Southgate? Is he a genius, or is he the luckiest coach we've ever seen, bro? Because he has been saved time and time again, but also made really bold decisions today that paid off.
That's the thing. I think the decision to bring on Luke Shaw at halftime was actually a great one because Trippier all tournament long has struggled in that left back position. You bring in Shaw, who's now healthy, who's now a natural left back. That works really well for England. And then the decision to bring on Watkins for Kane, a bold move, but the right one overall. Also tactically changing this side into a back three with Bukayo Saka as a wing back has completely given England a much better chance at possession, and they also look way more deadly on the wings. And also Bukayo Saka and Phil Foden, it finally, for the first time in this tournament, looked like their old natural selves in this game. I do think that's actually down to Southgate trying to change the narrative of this England squad and getting them to remember who they are. So at the end of the day, yes, obviously Southgate is lucky that he has some of the best players in the world, but I also want to give credit to him because he has changed this English side completely around. They're in now their back-to-back final at the Euros.
That's crazy.
That's incredible. This is an amazing feat for this English side.
Does this solidify then that Southgate is going to be the manager for the World Cup?
He has to be.
At
Unless
this point?
he can't take it anymore criticism-wise, then he could leave. But I think the FA should not fire him.
Because we mentioned before the tournament started, we were like, what's it going to take for Southgate to not to get fired going into the 2026 World Cup, and especially after this tournament? And we said it would be them not making the final. And they've made it now, bro.
Yeah.
So even if they lose it, you still think he's the guy, bro?
I think so.
You think so?
I really do think so. Again, because England could have just lost like in the quarters as a way to be like, all right, can we please change the coach because we don't want to play for him anymore? But they've shown up every single time. Now, it has taken some crazy moments for them to actually show up, but I think the way that they started this game told me that they do like Southgate. That they're like, okay, we're in a semifinal. Southgate, he's our guy, even though he may not be the best manager, but I think what he's been able to do at this tournament solidifies he should stay.
We're going to do finals predictions real soon. Right before we get to that last question, it's actually on the flip side. Ronald Koeman with the Netherlands. What's the take on Koeman and the Netherlands making it to a semifinal and providing us once again another dramatic game that we've been seeing from this Dutch side for the past 2 years? Ever since the World Cup, every Dutch game I've seen always has goals, always has drama, always has bangers, always has some interesting refereeing decisions as well. This Dutch team is really exciting to see, honestly, really entertaining to watch because anything can happen when they play. But what's the take on Koeman? Does he end up overachieving with this team? Does he do what he set out to do with this squad? Or what's the take? Is he really the guy to lead them forward into the World Cup?
I think for the Dutch, this is a really great starting point to see what they can do at the World Cup. I mean, they made it to the semis here. I think they're definitely missing Frankie de Jong, right? Schouten and then Veerman later on are good, but Frankie's a different level, bro. He's world class when he's at his best, when he's his most healthy. I think he would move the ball around a lot quicker. I think he has more creative ideas that could help unlock players like Cody Gakpo, Xavi Simons, or Wout Weghorst, for example, because I think where the Dutch kind of went wrong is they couldn't get past the England back line ultimately. They couldn't find those creative passes. Tiani Reinders, I thought, had a pretty average game, and he was supposed to be the guy to unlock defenses off the pass. He couldn't really handle this English defense. And honestly, Cody Gakpo, too, didn't have a great game. So
he was lost.
I think just in general, this Dutch side, they have a lot of good talent, but they need bigger players, I think, to go to a final. Yeah. They need a prime Frankie de Jong. And I don't know, maybe somehow bringing Frimpong into the side, because I feel like a guy with his status, the career that he had this last season, he needs to somehow be playing, having an impact. So I think there's more for this Dutch side in the future.
Chat, let me know who's the man of the match today. Who's the man of the match? Who's the player that stands out? Is it Ollie Watkins scoring the game winner today, stepping up out of the bench and getting a beautiful moment for himself? Or is it guys like Kobbie Mainoo, who I thought had his best game in an England jersey today? Dude was absolutely balling. Foden was really good in the time that he played, almost scored 2 goals in this match, one from outside the box and another one that was saved by Dumfries on the line. Who's the best player of the game? I'm seeing shouts for Southgate. The Southgate love is crazy to see, man. It's crazy to see after the years of hate I've seen directed towards him. Mainoo getting a lot of shouts. Watkins clutched it. I'm seeing some great picks here. I think I'm down to go Kobbie Mainoo because he was providing them so much defensive solidity in the midfield. Phil Foden, I think, was balling too. Who's your pick, Soltero?
I mean, player of the match has to be Watkins, game winner, basically buzzer beater. I mean, what a moment. He booked England their ticket to the final. But we do have to talk about Mainu because, dude, he's 19. He's the youngest ever English starter in basically a knockout stage. There's never been a younger player.
That's ridiculous.
And because Jude Bellingham was at the final 3 years ago, but he was on the bench.
Yeah.
Mainu's starting for this side. And it took Southgate a while to realize that he should be starting, but he is now the guy alongside Declan Rice, and he's the perfect foil to Rice, right?
Yeah.
Roy's that box to box, but Mainu's your bruiser. He breaks up play, and he's also, pretty good at pushing the ball forward too. If he can improve his game to be a little bit more offensive, then he's going to be one of the best central midfielders of his generation.
I can't remember a tournament where we've seen this much success from youngsters, like living up to the potential.
yeah.
Jamal Musiala, Florian Wirtz, Lamine Yamal, Kobbie Mainoo, and I think there's a couple other names I'm missing right off the top of my head. They've all actually continued the level of excellence that we've been seeing this entire season. Whereas other guys in their prime, like Kylian Mbappe, for example, disappointed, right? It was the youngsters, I think, who have provided us with such a fun narrative this tournament and actually lived up to their potential. Arda Güler is the other one I'm missing as well.
Yeah,
Arda
exactly.
Güler.
Güler was so good.
Before we do the Spain versus England preview, we're gonna look at super chats. And then we're gonna preview this incredible final. What we got for super chats at the very top, we have Alejandro Tiburcio saying, "Spain, save us from the pain, please." We still have some England doubters out there, and Spain playing some beautiful football. Will we see them do it? We'll have to wait and see, my friend. We'll have to wait and see. Diego Garcia says, "Boys, English or Spanish?" I'm not answering that. I know your tricks, bro. I know your tricks. It's never coming home. So we got another Spaniard fan in the chat. We'll get to it.
Final's going to be crazy.
We'll get to it.
Final's going to be nuts.
The Hitman says, "England is winning this shit. England has a better bench than Spain. More depth. More depth."
That's the whole point of England. They are so stacked.
Alejandro Tiburcio says, "Reynoso and Soltero, English or Spanish?" Once again, I'm not falling for this English or Spanish. Bro, I've seen the TikToks. I have seen the TikToks. I'm not answering that to win it. And we will preview this final. We're getting very close. The Hitman says, "England winning on German soil sounds familiar." Jesus. Daniel Garcia says, "Does this give Jude a Ballon d'Or or Kane?" I think it gets them closer to it. If we're talking about Reynoso Mountain, if we're talking about the Ballon d'Or race, guys that have improved their stock. We talked about it yesterday with Lamine Yamal. We talked about it with Dani Carvajal, for example. But for today, Rodri too. For today, the guys that improved their stock honestly are Harry Kane, who's the joint top scorer in this tournament, I believe.
He has 3.
Jude Bellingham, although he hasn't been as impactful, I still can't get past that game time bicycle kick to keep his team in this tournament. He might not show up in the final. He might not even show up. He might not have that great of a performance today. The fact that he did that, though, is the reason for why England is still here alive and breathing. So I think Jude definitely improves his stock, too, if they end up winning the Euros. And then, you could look at Phil Foden. You could look at who else? Is there anyone else who's in the race?
It is crazy, though, that this is probably going to be the first year where even the critics probably don't know who the best player was over the course of the last 12 months. Because if England do win it, you honestly could have a fair case for Foden because he was the best player in the Premier League. He is the reason why Manchester City won the whole thing. And he unfortunately hasn't had as good of a tournament with England, but he's still a part of it. He's still in the starting 11, creating action, being himself. But you could have the same case for Jude Bellingham. You could have the exact same case for Harry Kane. So this is going to be crazy. And then if Spain win it, who do you give it to?
Bro.
You can't give it. You can't give it to
Rodri.
Vinicius anymore because he didn't do anything with Brazil, unfortunately. So it has to be either an English player or a Spanish player who wins it. But dude, it could be 5 or 6 players who are up for it.
No, I completely agree. This is the after effects of how we got spoiled with Messi and Ronaldo winning Ballon d'Ors, because they would have great club seasons and then translate that over to the international stage,
right?
And it would just show out. It would just translate 101. Whereas here we have guys, having really good club seasons, like Vinny Jr. After the Champions League game, I thought he was the favorite for the Ballon d'Or.
I know.
But now the international tournaments arrive, and he was, ultimately was suspended from that quarterfinal matchup, and Brazil gets knocked out, so we don't get to see him reach massive achievements on the international stage. So I think that's just an after effect of how we were spoiled with Messi and Ronaldo. Now we're just gonna have to go off of weird indicators, like what team makes it to the final.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
Like even if Foden didn't have a good tournament at the Euros, he still had a great club season. And if England wins it, then maybe he's the guy. I don't know, man. It's gonna leave a lot of questions to answer. But folks, it's time. It's time. Let's preview this incredible Euros final that we've been gifted between England and Spain. English versus Spanish. Pick one, please. England going up against Spain. Spain, who has been playing the best football at this tournament in terms of consistency. Their flair, their fluidity has been so remarkable to see. One of my favorite teams to watch at this tournament, honestly. And it's been incredible. The play of Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams, two youngsters just absolutely balling out. And in the midfield of Fabian Ruiz, Rodri playing so good. And then Dani Olmo stepping up in place for Pedri. Amazing that everything's been amazing that we've been seeing from Spain. But they face off against an English team who finally found themselves, I believe, in this last matchup against the Netherlands. Producer Rudd, let's make the poll. England versus Spain. Who wins? Chat, let me know your predictions. Let me know your preview for this game because this is going to be an incredible final.
It's going to be so fun, man. I literally cannot wait. In Berlin, the Olympia Stadion. It's going to be a packed house. The Euros has delivered in every sense of the word. I cannot wait for Sunday, bro. England against Spain. My takes for both teams have not changed over the last 2 weeks. Spain are playing the finest football in Europe. There's no question about it. Nico Williams is balling. Lamine Yamal is probably one of the greatest teenagers I've ever seen in my entire life.
He is.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Fabian Ruiz, I've never seen him play better football in the midfield. Rodri has solidified himself as one of the best central defensive midfielders ever. Yeah. Alvaro Morata is putting in really good shits. Dani Carvajal is going to be back. He's a serial winner.
That's big.
I mean, just every single Spanish player is playing incredible football. Dani Olmo, too. He scored some of the dirtiest goals of the tournament, and he wasn't even starting until recently due to Pedri's injury. That's what Spain have going for them, bro.
Oh, man.
But my take on England's the same. They don't play as good football. Their chemistry is nowhere near as good as Spain, but they will still have just as equal a chance to beat Spain.
No, that's facts.
That's it.
That's facts. They'll play. They'll match the quality.
They will match it.
They will match it, and I wonder, man. I wonder. Maybe you get a brilliant moment from Bukayo Saka, or from Jude Bellingham, or from Phil Foden, or from freaking Harry Kane.
Exactly.
And suddenly England's leading the game, and then they just rely on that defense to keep them in the match and win it. That could very much happen. I think Spain right now is the best international team in the world on form.
Yep.
On form, because we're watching the Copa America as well, and subscribe to us if you are keeping up with that tournament, because we were covering that tournament as well. In the Copa America, watching how teams like Argentina, Colombia, Uruguay, I mean, Colombia is red hot right now, but Argentina, the defending world champions, aren't playing their best football, in my opinion, at least not yet. Spain, I think, is playing more attractive, more productive football. I think Spain is the best international team in the world right now. That's what England has to go up against, but I get worried, bro. I get a little scared as a Spanish fan because of what I just saw England do today. The scenes of Ollie Watkins scoring that game-winning goal. Southgate getting his subs right. He might have just found it, bro. He might have just found it from a managerial perspective. He might have just found it regarding decisions and who to play and who to pick because he was perfect this game. And then guys like Phil Foden getting a little bit more closer to that goal in the Euros today. Almost had two goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Bukayo Saka looked much more confident. Harry Kane, a perfect penalty. The midfield, Kobbie Mainoo just balled out against this Dutch team. England is going to provide to be a very, very tough opponent.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go Spain. That's my pick. I'm going Spain. I'm going to go Spanish. Vamos a España. I'll pick Spanish here, but I agree. England is going to give us such a great test, such a great battle, and will not be surprised if England wins it. And if anything, I'll be happy because they'll finally achieve that big trophy that they've been searching for.
Yeah, I have the exact same conclusion. So for me, Spain as well.
You're going Spain too?
I have the exact same, man.
Damn.
But it's going to be a crazy final. If England win, it would also just make sense because you look at the resume of every single player, not just the starting 11, but the next 7 bench players. They play at some of the best clubs in the world, and they're one of the best players at their respective clubs. Whereas Spain, when you look at them, same thing, but their football is just so much more exciting. That's why I'm going to pick Spain to beat England. But my God, man, like this is a huge opportunity for silverware to return to England since 1966. And not only that, this will undo the Harry Kane curse. It'll undo it.
The after effects of England winning were crazy. Southgate,
it's insane.
You can't say shit about Southgate.
You can't say shit about it. He won a continental title.
Yeah, once you get going into 2026 World Cup, that's what you want. Is a trophy of that magnitude. Can't say shit about Southgate. All the criticism these players have received about being soft, being very talented, but not able to live up to those high pressure moments on the international stage, those are out the window as well. And for Spain, it's interesting because we talked beforehand about England, all the pressure they had going into this tournament. Spain didn't really have that much. If anything, I would say Spain has overachieved this tournament with the expectations that we, as well as probably their own fans, had for them. We talked about Spain as maybe a quarterfinals team, and they'd be lucky to basically go to the semifinals in this tournament, given where they were at on the international stage going into this tournament. But I think they've overachieved, bro. And them winning a tournament here isn't like they're robbing it. It just feels like, what's the best word here? It's like
bonus.
Like a bonus.
It's bonus.
It's like a bonus, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to win a title, honestly.
It's a great way. It's a great way. Yeah.
Chat has Spain at 67%, England at 33%. So a perfectly even 2/3 going to Spain and 1/3 going to England. England needs to keep this up and make this game one to remember. Kane needs to get this together for his team. Yeah, this game is going to be incredible. Emiliano Garcia says Spain for the sake of football. This is crazy. La Liga versus the Premier League.
Yeah.
Bellingham needs this. That's the difference, says Pollo. Can Harry Kane break the curse? He's 90 minutes away.
He's 90
minutes away. I can't believe it. We have a few more super chats here. Guys, thank you so much for the super chats and for giving us your predictions on this game. I cannot wait. Brandon Valdera says, not Euro related, but Fox Sports is reporting Greg is out for the U.S. men's national team. This is a live reaction that we are getting right now because I heard rumors of this prior to starting the live stream, but you guys are telling me it's official. Luis Melo, our reporter Luis Melo has come in. He says, reporter Luis Melo has breaking news. Sources are reporting Berhalter is out as U.S. men's national team coach. That, to me, solidifies it. Berhalter out.
Berhalter out, man.
He's out.
It's pretty crazy. I know the USA Federation announced last week that they would make an announcement like Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. Honestly, I didn't think it would happen so soon, though. I'll be honest, because usually things like this take so long for the USA, but they were quick, and I like the quickness of this. USA gets out. Let's think about it for a week, make a big decision. They make the decision to sack Greg Berhalter. I think it's the right one. This was a massive failure for the USA hosting the biggest tournament that they could outside of the World Cup, and they couldn't get out of the goddamn group stage. So this has to be on somebody. It's on the players for sure. They know it, but it's also on Greg Berhalter for not being able to adapt to the situations that were thrown at him. We need someone who can adapt to even bigger situations that you will face at the World Cup. Berhalter proved he can't do it. Get me a better coach. I'm very excited about this.
You folks know how anti-Berhalter I've been these past couple of years, but here's my thing. For as anti as I've been on Berhalter, I'm glad that he's getting fired. I'm still not satisfied because I need to see who they pick as a replacement coach. If they pick another Berhalter 2.0, I'm not going to like it. I'm hearing shouts for guys like Steve Cherundolo, for example. I don't think that's the difference maker you're looking for. I don't. I think there's other people out there that you could potentially look towards. I'm seeing names like Klopp. Klopp is a dream. I think Klopp is a dream. And I'm actually surprised how far that rumor has gone because I feel like Klopp is very secure in not wanting to coach for like the foreseeable future with the way he ultimately left this Liverpool team. I just don't see him coming back and wanting to coach the U.S. men's national team and everything that comes with it. But for me, it comes down to who they get. I need to see who they get before I can give my full reaction because to me, this is just half of the job being done. Berhalter getting out. Who do they bring in? I hope it's someone better. I hope, low-key, it's Soltero.
Well, here's actually the really interesting thing about the United States when it comes to coaching is that I actually don't think it matters if they get a big name because BJ Callahan and I forget who was before him, maybe it was Hudson or something like that. Their interim managers before or between Greg Berhalter, they were really good. But it's because the talent that the USA have is very coachable and it's very high. So I don't think we need a big name. We just need somebody else because Berhalter has proven that he can't do it. So honestly, I don't think it could be any other MLS coach as long as he has a good track record. I would actually trust him because BJ Callahan for like a good 6 to 8 matches had the USA playing very, very good football, but it's because our quality is so much higher. I think for teams like Jamaica, for teams like Mexico, the coach matters a little bit more because the players can't give as much.
I think I need to see. I actually agree with that. I do, but I'm still anti-Cherundolo. I think if you want someone like that, you should go for Jim Curtin, like someone like a more
For sure.
tactical-based manager that knows how to deal with talent better. I don't think it just can be any MLS coach. I think it still needs to be a really good Major League Soccer coach. And I think the big name factor does play a role in kind of the selling optimism towards the U.S. men's national team that they need to be able to do that Greg Berhalter wasn't able to do. Guys like, I don't know, like Klopp ultimately is what brings in the mainstream audience to support USA. I think that aspect is big.
True, bro.
And I wonder what kind of impact that would have. But I just think that's a dream. That's a dream, bro.
It's a crazy dream. You're right, dude. All the Premier League fans in the USA, they would all of a sudden become USA fans if Klopp gets picked.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy.
I don't even want to think about
that's
that,
so
though.
big, though. I don't want to think about it either.
There's no way, man.
Yeah.
There's no way. That's crazy. Let's go back to some super chats. That is crazy. I need to think about that some more. I need to let it settle in because Berhalter is officially out. What a day. Edwin Sanchez says, if Mano can improve on his attack, he'd be a better version of Pogba, a Pogba region. Can't wait for what United will become in upcoming years. Also, Viva Guatemala. Got to get that Guatemala shout in.
Completely agree, though, on your
You think Kobbie
take.
Mainoo can live up to Pogba's peak?
I don't think he'll get there because he's already not as attacking minded.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is that he has the skill set too. So if you put Mainoo through like an offensive drill camp or something like that and just have him focus on attacking, I think he could get close to a Pogba-esque player.
I think their styles are so different, so I don't think we can make that comparison. But can
Right.
Mainoo become as good at his position as Pogba became at his? I think so.
That's a good.
I think so.
That's a better comparison, and I think yes.
I think so. Jesse A says Lamine Yamal gonna need another bath from Messi to win the Euros. That fucking photo, man! I can't believe that photo, dude. I cannot believe it. Jaden714 says Greg Berhalter out. You love to see it.
You do love to see it.
Damn, what a stream, folks. What a stream. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to end it right there. Thank you so much for joining. England ends up defeating the Netherlands 2-1. Berhalter out. Crazy stream. Live reaction. Finals prediction is out now. England versus Spain. We have Spain winning it, but obviously England could pull off something truly magical here, winning their first European trophy. This is going to get crazy. Sunday is going to be ridiculous. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe on your way out because we will be reacting to that final moments after it's over. Till next time, guys. Peace.